What's up guys, I am Rhino and welcome to episode 4 of this old school RuneScape journey. Now you may be wondering what on earth I'm doing, sort of bending down into some water. Well, today this video is going to be teaching you guys about the fishing skill. As you can see, my guy is currently using a net, the small fishing net, and if he does manage to actually catch some fish, you will see what fish I'm trying to fish up today. He's going to take his time. Come on, matey. There we go. So I've caught some raw shrimps. Obviously you guys saw these in the tutorial island video in episode 1. The whole purpose of doing this really is to cook the shrimps, or cook whichever fish you do fish up, and use it as food to help you with your combat. Obviously we've got the fishing skill just there. I'm going to be trying to get that up to probably around about level 15 as well. Not obviously all in this video today, so it will take a little bit of time. In terms of the various different fish that you can actually catch, so obviously shrimp is only level 1. You need to get to level 5 if you want to catch some sardines, which are the next thing up. One thing to bear in mind, guys, obviously I was using a small fishing net right there. You need to use different equipment to catch different fish. So a small fishing net will get you raw shrimps. However, if you right click on the actual sort of, well, the splashes in the water where the fish are, there's also the option to bait. Now I can't do this right now because I'm not actually a high enough level to do it. So once you get to level 5, sardines are one of the things you catch by using bait. Now what you need to use the bait, instead of using an actual small fishing net, you'll use a fishing rod, and also as well as the rod you'll need some bait as well. For every one bit of bait that you have, you can catch one fish. So basically stock up as much bait as you would want to catch a certain amount of fish. Now other fish which are caught using bait is herring as well. So sardines and herring will be what you'll get from that. Anchovies is another thing which you can get by using the small net fishing there. If we keep scrolling down a little bit further, you get to some of the higher levels. You have trout, which is fly fishing. So this will be a little bit different again, in the sense that you use a fishing rod, but it's not the exact same rod. So there's two different types. You have a standard fishing rod, and also one that's known as a fly fishing rod. So for the fly fishing rod, instead of using the bait to catch the fish, you'll use feathers. Now feathers can be obtained very easily throughout the game. You know, you can kill chickens, you can buy them, you can just sort of find them. Very easily obtainable, not difficult, but very just completely simple. The same with the bait as well. The bait is very easily obtainable. So that is one option as well when you get to the higher levels. We've got pike as well. That's another thing under the bait fishing. Salmon at level 30 is fly fishing. So now tuna is another step up as well. So at level 35, when you do eventually get there, harpoon fishing. So that's going to be, it's done in a similar way to the net fishing, to be honest. Obviously you just have your harpoon set in your inventory here. You won't need any bait or anything like that. You literally just go to the location, which I can show in a future video once we get to that sort of stage, and just go ahead and click on the actual splashes in the water, and your character will start to try and harpoon for some tuna. One of the other fish as well, which they will try and catch, if I scroll a little bit further down, is the swordfish, which is also harpoon fishing. And the only other thing to note as well is lobsters. Again, they have their own special thing. You need an actual lobster pot. Again, same format. You literally just need the pot. You don't need anything else. You just find the certain location and they will do that for you. In terms of the location I'm at today, guys, again, I've kept it pretty sort of local to Lumbridge. So we got Lumbridge here. In previous videos, we've been heading to these sort of areas here, up in the north. On this occasion, I've actually gone south out of this end of the Lumbridge, down this path, down to this little fishing spot here, which is sort of signalled on the world map, just east of the Lumbridge mine as well. So if you do feel like you can't find it, if you look out for the mine, it's pretty much right next to the mine, and you can't really miss the mine, obviously. Well, when you get there, you'll know it. There's lots and lots of rocks, like there should be in a mine. But yeah, that's kind of that's sort of the location I would recommend if you want to do a bit of fishing, to train the fishing guy, just because it's close to the bank and it's close also to the next part of this video, which I want to show you guys, which is going to help quite a lot with your combat. We've got a reasonable amount of fish there. Obviously you can see there as well, like raw anchovies. People have just been dropping them, who are just sort of, maybe they don't need them, they're not fishing them up for food, they're just purely trying to train the skill. If we head back up north, leave me alone, you fat rat. Head back into Lumbridge. This little building here with the question mark doesn't, it's completely irrelevant. I'm just using it as a marker, just so you guys know where to go. If you head inside this building here by opening the door, you can see there's a cooking range. So what you want to do is, if you press on the shrimps, press on the range, and then press cook all, if it will, yeah, I believe it's done like that, yeah. So now you can see starting to try and cook the shrimp. So obviously the ones which have turned that kind of like golden sort of orangey colour, they're the ones which are fine to eat. Obviously the black and burnt ones are no good to eat, and you can just literally just drop them. They're completely worthless. They won't sell for anything. You can't use them in any way. So completely, yeah, just get rid. There's no point having them sort of taking up space in your inventory or your bank. Yeah, you don't need them. Obviously cooking level is flown up to level 4 already, which is perfect. Just quickly do these last two. Now, cooking is the same as fishing in, well, with some of the levels of what you need to be to actually, let's put it this way. So for example, you need to be level 1 to fish up some shrimps. You also need to be level 1 to cook shrimps. Some of them vary though, so anchovies you can do straight away. You can cook them as soon as you enter the game, but you can't fish them until you get to level 15. So, and like sardines, level 1 for cooking, but level 5 for fishing. So some vary, some are the same. I think, in fairness, looking at it in general, like a lot of the things for cooking are actually a little bit lower, which is interesting, because from personal experience, the cooking skill, I mean, you can see straight away. Obviously I had a certain amount of shrimps there. I'm pretty sure I would have dropped, like, was it 2 or 3 maybe, or maybe just the 1. So yeah, so I had like 10 shrimps that I fished up. Obviously you get a certain amount of experience for fishing them, but that's only got me up to level 2. By cooking them, it's put me straight up to level 4, so you get more experience for cooking than you do for fishing, which does make it surprising that you need to be a lower level to be able to cook a certain fish than to actually fish it up. You'd think it'd probably be the other way around, but there we go. That's ideal really, obviously for us. You know, we're going to want these various different foods to help with the combat training, so that's kind of ideal really. And obviously the final part of this sort of particular loop that you do, obviously you can just head straight back into the bank. So once let me just drop these as well, don't want to keep those. Once you feel as though either you've done enough, or you know, like personally I would get a full inventory if I was going to do this properly and thoroughly. Just doing it quickly purely on time basis, but if you got full inventory, you then take it up to the bank at the top of the castle, and just pop that into there. One other thing to note as well, guys, you might notice my bank looks a little bit different now. I've actually kind of organised it a little bit. It was annoying me. It was really messy. So what I've done is I've kind of sorted it into these different tabs. So what you want to do, if you want to do this, you can let's just show an example. So if you take an item and you drag it onto this plus sign, it will create a new section for it. So you can actually, these lines obviously sectioning out the various items that I have in my bank. So what I've done, if I just pop that back where it was, I've got kind of like a section for just general things like my money, little bits of equipment, and then I've got a section for mining, so I've just got a pickaxe at the moment, section for my wood cutting and fire making, so I've got some of the logs which I kept from yesterday's video. Then I've got all my rooms for when I do any sort of like magic training, my various combat weapons and armor, like archery, bow and arrow, you know what I mean. And then I've got a section for food, so cooked food which is ready to eat, and also some like raw beef which I can cook at a later date if I wanted to use that as well, to help with my combat training. That's just obviously something, you know, you guys don't have to do that. It's not sort of a necessity. God, that was a bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, you know, I just like to do it. I like to sort of keep my stuff organised, because you will find that as you head through the game, you will have a lot of various kind of really like worthless junk items that you might receive from quests, or you know, people might just give them to you. Like, people like to just give people items because they don't want them, and they think, you know, somebody might like this. Yeah, and you know, if you do accept these sort of gifts, yeah, you can pop them into their own little section, so you don't have to keep, you know, just sort of like scrolling through your bank. If you know there's something in there that you want, like, it's just frustrating. There's also the search option as well. If you do get like your bank which is really full, and you know an item, you know you need it, but you're not sure if you got it, and you want to just quickly check, you can literally just type in like bronze axe and it will appear for you on the screen. So that's sort of just a quick dirty little tour of the bank as well, just to help you guys out with that. Obviously, if you want to get going back to the fishing level, you want to get it up to a really high level, then you're gonna head back down this way. Just keep it north, actually, just so it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to see. You head back down south, back down this route. Pretty much just straight down here, really. You don't need to take any sort of turns. It's just follow this path. You may get attacked by one of those rats like I did before, but they're not going to harm you whatsoever. And then you're back down here, really ready to go again. One thing to note as well, if you don't have the net, maybe you got rid of it because you thought you might not need it, or you just forgot on it when you get here. Obviously there are nets just there on the game. They're not ones that people have dropped. They're actually kind of set. They've been programmed into the game to be there, so there'll always be one there at this specific location if you do want to use it. Yeah, obviously I've got my own sort of ready. But yeah, and you just literally gonna just keep doing this, just trying to get your level up until you feel like you're gonna move on to the next fish that you want to try and catch and cook to get yourself up to the next level, really. But yeah, like, apart from that, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, personally, I'm gonna probably look to, like I said, probably get to about level 15 on the fishing skill, maybe 15 or 20 on the cooking. I want to have quite a few different things ready that I can cook for combat. Obviously, as you can see, like my combat skills are still as they were from episode 2, so I do need to go and sort of train a little bit at some point outside of a video, just so I am ready for anything that I might come across. I just didn't really want to jump straight into it right now, obviously purely because of the food. You know, we saw in episode 2 how I did nearly die against the cows, which, you know, can be potentially problematic. You know, I don't really want to have that lingering over me, you know, going into future videos thinking that I've actually been killed by a cow. There's much more fierce monsters on this game to worry about than them. So yeah, just sort of crack on with that really, guys. If you want to do a bit of fishing, obviously level 3 there. I'm nearly at sardines already, so obviously if you want to do sardines, you can sort of look into that a little bit. There are various fishing spots sort of around, so like I said, sardines, you can do that here. There are others, so like you can see here in the Al-Kharid Desert, there's there, or if you wanted to head up in towards Varrock, if you were going up there to look at the Grand Exchange, if you came out of the Grand Exchange, went south, followed this path down here and went west, this spot here is extremely popular with people that do fly fishing for catching like trout and salmon. I believe you can do bait fishing there as well, so that's extremely popular. That's like probably one of the most popular places on the non-members as well, for sure, probably even in the whole of RuneScape in general, I would say. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Yeah, that's definitely the best way to get up the fishing skill for a beginner such as myself, and such as many of you guys will be who are only just sort of getting into this game, you know, following some of my tips to help you out. But yeah, I am going to leave it there until the next one, guys, which may even come out tomorrow, later today. I'm uploading very frequently at the moment. I'm trying to get out new videos out daily. I want to get a double upload out at some point, just to see how I cope with that. But yeah, for now, guys, I am out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.